Yes.
One of the running guys.
Mayor, I'd like to call the Elmwood Park Mayor and Council meeting for May 16th, 2013 to order at 8:03 p.m. On roll call, Council members Catamagna.
Here.
Castiglia.
Here.
Conboy.
Here.
Pettigano.
Here.
Bonsino.
Here.
Coletti.
Here.
Mayor Moeller.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Will everyone please stand for our prayer and flag salute? Oh God, our Father, we ask you to bless our meeting which we trust to your fatherly care and protection. Please remove all selfishness and prejudice from our hearts and implant therein a keen sense of justice and a greater love for you and our neighbor. Guide us in our deliberations so our decisions will always please you and bring peace and happiness to our community. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Whereas Chapter 231 of the Public Law of the State of New Jersey requires the commencement of each meeting a statement by the presiding officer, now therefore be advised the meeting requirements for this meeting have been met by publishing an annual notice in the Record of Hackensack, the Herald News of Woodland Park, and by posting such notice in the office of the Borough Clerk as well as in the public place within the municipal building, and by notifying interested citizens. Said notice was posted on January 1, 2013. Ladies and gentlemen, this meeting is on cable channel 77. It will be on Tuesday at 12 noon, Thursday at 4 p.m., or Friday at 11 a.m., or it'll be on our own Elmwood Park website. Thank you.
Mayor, at this time, under the approval of minutes, we have the March 28th, 2013 work session, the April 18th, 2013 regular meeting, the April 18th, 2013 work session, the April 18th, 2013 executive session, and the May 2nd, 2013 regular meeting.
May I have a motion for all of them, please?
So moved.
Mr. Conboy, second.
Second.
Who second? Mr. Castiglia? Any discussion? Call the roll.
On roll call, Council members Catamagna.
Here.
Castiglia.
Yes.
Conboy.
Yes.
Pettigano.
Yes.
Bonsino.
Yes.
Coletti.
Yes.
Motion carries. Mayor, this evening under ordinances on first reading, we have Resolution 178-13, introduce ordinance 13-17 on first reading. Be it resolved that an ordinance entitled An Ordinance Amending Article 2 of the Borough of Elmwood Park, entitled Offices Created, be passed and adopted on first reading, and be it resolved that a final hearing on said ordinance will be heard in the municipal building on Thursday, June 6, 2013 at 8 p.m. or soon thereafter, as the same can be heard, at which time and place any persons interested in said ordinance can be heard. Be it further resolved that the Borough Clerk be and is hereby authorized to advertise in a legal newspaper a notice of introduction and final hearing as required by law.
You explain that a little bit, Mr. Caswell?
Mayor, this ordinance, the genesis of this ordinance comes from a conversation that the Chief Financial Officer and I had this week with the State Comptroller's Office. They are requesting that some of the things that appear in employee contracts, one of them being for myself as Borough Clerk, simply be codified in ordinance as well as be read in the contract.
May I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Mr. Pettigano, second.
Second.
Second by Mr. Catamagna. Any discussion? Call the roll, please.
On roll call, Council members Catamagna.
Yes.
Castiglia.
Yes.
Conboy.
Yes.
Pettigano.
Yes.
Bonsino.
Yes.
Coletti.
Yes.
Motion carries. Resolution 194-13, introduced ordinance 13-18 on first reading. Be it resolved that an ordinance entitled An Ordinance Amending Chapter 2 of the Borough of Elmwood Park, entitled Administration, by establishing a new ordinance 2-60 to be entitled Volunteer Ambulance Corps Stipend, be passed and adopted on first reading, and be it resolved that a final hearing on said ordinance will be heard in the municipal building on Thursday, June 6, 2013 at 8 p.m. or soon thereafter, as the same can be heard, at which time and place all persons interested in said ordinance can be heard. Be it further resolved that the Borough Clerk be and is hereby authorized to advertise in a legal newspaper a notice of introduction and final hearing as required by law.
May I have a motion open to the public, please?
No, Mayor, this is on first reading, so
I
we
have a
simply need a
second
motion
reading
from the
down
council.
13-15?
No, this is 13-18.
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
194-13.
Call the roll, please.
I need a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Bonsino and Conboy. Any discussion?
And Mayor, as was stated with the previous resolution, this is just housekeeping. This stipend was originally created through resolution, and the state has indicated that this needs to be codified by ordinance.
Call the roll, please.
Council members Catamagna.
Yes.
Castiglia.
Yes.
Conboy.
Yes.
Pettigano.
Yes.
Bonsino.
Yes.
Coletti.
Yes.
Motion carries. Resolution 195-13, ordinance 13-19 on first reading. Be it resolved that an ordinance entitled an ordinance amending Chapter 2 of the Code of the Borough of Elmwood Park entitled Administration be passed and adopted on first reading, and be it resolved that a final hearing on said ordinance will be heard in the municipal building on Thursday, June 6, 2013 at 8 p.m. or soon thereafter as the same can be heard, at which time and place all persons interested in said ordinance can be heard. Be it further resolved that the Borough Clerk be and he is hereby authorized to advertise in a legal newspaper a notice of introduction and final hearing as required by law.
Motion, please.
So moved.
Coletti, second.
Second.
Pettigano, and discussion? Call the roll.
Through you, Mayor, this is to adjust the low SAP payments for members of our volunteer fire department and volunteer ambulance corps. On roll call, council members Catamagna.
Yes.
Castiglia.
Yes.
Conboy.
Yes.
Pettigano.
Yes.
Bonsino.
Yes.
Coletti.
Yes.
Motion carries. Under ordinances this evening on second reading, we have Resolution 179-13, introduce ordinance 13-15 on second reading. Whereas public notice has been given by the Borough Clerk that an ordinance entitled an ordinance to amend the Code of the Borough of Elmwood Park, specifically Chapter 20 thereof, entitled Parks and Recreational Areas, by deleting existing Section 20-1.2, Hours of Use, and inserting in its place a new Section 20-1.2, to be entitled Hours of Use and Permit Requirements. And whereas said ordinance was introduced and passed at a meeting held on Thursday, May 2nd, 2013, and that further consideration of this ordinance would be taken up at this meeting. And whereas all persons interested in said ordinance were given the opportunity to be heard concerning same. Now therefore be it resolved that the Mayor and Council of the Borough of Elmwood Park, that an ordinance entitled an ordinance to amend the Code of the Borough of Elmwood Park, specifically Chapter 20 thereof, entitled Parks and Recreational Areas, by deleting existing Section 20-1.2, Hours of Use, and inserting in its place a new Section 20-1.2 to be entitled Hours of Use and Permit Requirements, pass on final reading. Mayor will need a motion to open to the public.
Motion, please.
So moved.
Conboy, second.
Second.
Bonsino, discussion? No discussion. Ladies and gentlemen, anyone who wish to speak on this ordinance? Just shout it out if you wish to speak. No one wishes to speak? I'll close the public portion. Mr. Casmark?
Need a motion to adopt.
Motion to adopt.
So moved.
Mr. Conboy,
Second.
second. Who seconded it?
Castiglia.
Mr. Castiglia? Any discussion? Call the roll.
On roll call, council members Catamagna.
Yes.
Castiglia.
Yes.
Conboy.
Yes.
Pettigano.
Yes.
Bonsino.
Yes.
Coletti.
Yes.
Motion carries. Also under second reading this evening, we have Resolution 180-13, introduce ordinance 13-16 on second reading. Whereas public notice has been given by the Borough Clerk that an ordinance entitled a bond ordinance to authorize the making of various public improvements, the acquisition of new additional or replacement equipment and machinery, and new communication and signal systems equipment, and the reconditioning of a fire engine in, by, and for the Borough of Elmwood Park in the County of Bergen, State of New Jersey, to appropriate the sum of $873,906 to pay the cost thereof, to make a down payment, to authorize the issuance of bonds to finance such appropriation, and to provide for the issuance of bond anticipation notes in anticipation of the issuance of such bonds. And whereas said ordinance was introduced and passed at a meeting held on Thursday, May 2nd, 2013, and that further consideration of this ordinance would be taken up at this meeting. And whereas all persons interested in said ordinance were given the opportunity to be heard concerning same. Now therefore be it resolved by the Mayor and Council of the Borough of Elmwood Park that an ordinance entitled a bond ordinance to authorize the making of various public improvements, the acquisition of new, additional, or replacement equipment and machinery, and new communication and signal systems equipment, and the reconditioning of a fire engine, be, by, and for the Borough of Elmwood Park in the County of Bergen, State of New Jersey, to appropriate the sum of $873,906 to pay the cost thereof, and to make a down payment, to authorize the issuance of bonds to finance such appropriation, and to provide for the issuance of bond anticipation notes in anticipation of the issuance of such bonds, pass on final reading. Mayor will need a motion to open to the public.
Motion, please.
So moved.
Mr. Bonsino, second.
Second.
Mr. Castiglia, discussion? All in favor, opposed, so ordered. Does anyone in the audience wish to be heard on this ordinance? If not, I'll close the public portion and ask for a motion to pass.
So moved.
Mr. Conboy, second.
Second.
Say Mr. Pettigano, discussion? Call the roll, please.
On roll call, council members Catamania?
Yes.
Castiglia?
Yes.
Conboy?
Yep.
Pettigano?
Yes.
Bonsino?
Yes.
Coletti?
Yes.
I don't have a yellow column. Motion
Sorry.
carries.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Put me off guard.
Mayor, this evening under the consent agenda, we have Resolution 181-13, payment of bills, Resolution 182-13, confirmation of checks, Resolution 183-13, confirmation of payroll, Resolution 184-13, change order number 1 and final for the Kip Ave Infrastructure Improvement Project, Resolution 185-13, change order number 3 and final for the 2011 road resurfacing program, Resolution 186-13, change order number 2 and final for the 2012 road resurfacing program. Resolution 187-13, appoint junior volunteer firefighter Justin Lewinsky. Resolution 188-13, release road opening performance bond for Dutra Excavating and Sewer Incorporated. Resolution 189-13, redeem third-party tax lien on block 1318 Lot 2. Resolution 190-13, redeem third-party tax lien on Block 802 Lot 7. Resolution 191-13, person-to-person liquor license transfer, Fratelli's Coal Pizza LLC. Resolution 192-13, redeem third-party tax lien Block 606 Lot 13. Resolution 193-13, redeem third-party tax lien Block 504 Lot 12. And Resolution 196-13, award bid for the 2013 road resurfacing program.
Motion, please.
So moved.
Mr. Catamania, second.
Second.
Second by Mr. Boncino. Discussion. This is our awarded bid for our road program. It came in substantially lower, so we had 2 alternates with it, and we were able to do all the alternates and still come in under the bid price. And Mr. Kazmark, you have I think it was 390-some thousand, and we bonded close to 400.
450.
450. Call the roll, please.
On roll call, council members Catamania?
Yes.
Castiglia?
Yes.
Conboy?
Yes.
Pettigano?
Yes.
Bonsino?
Yes.
Coletti?
Yes.
Mayor, under departmental reports, we have the Police Department report for April 2013, the Recreation Department report for April 2013, the Board of Recreation minutes for March 18th, 2013, the Department of Public Works report for April 2013, and the Building Department report for April 2013.
Motion to receive and file.
So moved.
Moved by Conboy and Boncino. Any discussion? All in favor? Opposed? So ordered.
And
And
Mayor,
the application for St. Leo's, motion to accept.
So moved.
Approve. Mr. Conboy, second.
Second.
Mr. Catamania. Any discussion? All in favor? Opposed? So ordered. Committee reports. Larry, you want to go?
Okay. Planning Board, we had one application this month. It was the car dealer that I spoke about 2 weeks ago. It was approved at 440 Market Street. He does his transactions over the phone and over the internet. He buys vehicles at auctions and resells them at auctions. None of these vehicles will come to Elmwood Park. It's a pretty clean operation. It was approved. 440 Market Street, his office. The newspapers have been running lately some stories about vacant homes in Bergen County and in Passaic County they've been mentioning. And they're talking about maybe 5% of the properties in these 2 counties are vacant now. So, that's like 1 in 20. You can always tell those homes because the lawns are overgrown and the shrubs are overgrown and there's a pile of newspapers on the driveway. It's becoming a problem in a lot of towns. What happens is, the rest of the neighborhood looks good and you see this house in the middle of the block, making everything look bad. So what happens is the boroughs start taking over. The town goes in, they send the DPW in, and they do whatever they can do to help maintain that property. The mortgage companies aren't really knocking themselves out to get anybody out there to maintain these properties. And the owners have basically walked away, with the economy the way it is today. So our DPW has gone into some homes to shut off the water supply when a pipe broke in the house and the basement got flooded. They had to go in. Sometimes they had to board up windows. Mostly it's just cutting the grass and taking care of the trash outside. So as of right now, I spoke to Scott today, we have 10 of these homes in town that we're taking care of. They're predicting, some sources are predicting that it's going to get worse before it gets better. Now, we're not even close to that 20% by the way it sounds, but he's expecting that this is spring now. So you're going to start seeing the lawns that, I mean, other than my front lawn, but you're going to start seeing those lawns that are overgrown for the reason that nobody's living in the house. So I just wanted to bring that to the council's attention, that that might be a problem that's coming up. Also, the only way we recoup any of those expenses would be by putting a lien on the property, and when the property is finally sold, we try to get our money back on it.
We did that last year.
We did it on a couple already, yeah. We have done it on a few. But we're just hoping it doesn't get any worse. Okay, let's see. I believe this is the last public meeting now before Memorial Day, right? Keith?
Yes.
This will be the last public meeting before Memorial Day.
Yes, it is.
All right. Everybody that can, get out there and see the parade. You know, it's always an enjoyable day. One thing to remember, you know, a lot of servicemen aren't as lucky as myself or the mayor. You know, they didn't get to return home. Memorial Day is for those people. That's what we celebrate on Memorial Day. So, you know, I know it's a big holiday. It's the first big weekend of the summer, and a lot of people go away. Fine. If you can get to a parade, do it. You know, no matter where you are, a lot of parades go on Memorial Day weekend. Or at least keep these people in mind, you know. They sacrificed a lot for us so we could have Memorial Day, you know. So we could have holidays like that. Let's see, I got one more thing here somewhere. Oh yeah, once again, this Sunday is the third Sunday of the month. The American Legion is having its breakfast. $4. I know I said last month that I was going to be there. Didn't make it. I'm going to be there this Sunday. Well, I'm going to check with my wife. But I think I'm going to be there this Sunday. So if anybody wants a popper, maybe I can get somebody to go with me. I don't know. But that's it, man. Thanks.
Larry, I'll go to breakfast with you.
You going to go to breakfast with me, Tom?
Sure, we get a few houses on the way.
Oh, boy. It's a date.
Mr. Pettigrew?
Thank you, Mayor. The Elmwood Park Health Department, this month, May 22nd, at Borough Field, between 5 p.m. and 7 p.m., rain or shine, is having a rabies vaccine booster or initial dose at Borough Field. And spayed pets are $10 and non-spayed pets are $13. There is the monthly child health clinics and free immunizations for all Elmwood Park, Saddlebrook, and Lodi families. It's by appointment only, and that's 201-996-2038. Also, we have a free adult consultation and blood pressure program. That's May 21st and June 18th. 9:30 a.m. to 11 a.m. held at the Elmwood Park Senior Center. No appointment is necessary. And a reminder to renew your dog and cat licenses for 2013 at the Elmwood Park Health Department. If licensed before May 22nd, there will be no late fee. Pet owners may be issued a summons after that time. Also, please leash and curb your dogs and carry a little baggie in your pocket.
It's law.
It's the law, and I'm tired of it. I don't like cleaning up in front of my house, and I get a lot of complaints from a lot of people. I live near a park, and especially the people that walk around the park. There's kids all over the place. Let's keep it clean, please. Also, there have been no coyote sightings this month.
I sighted one the other day.
Did you?
Yeah, right in front of the Hillmans, and he was coming across River Road with its prey in its mouth. It just
Wow.
jumped up,
Must have moved.
Yeah.
Well, we have a sighting. Also, coming up on May 19th is Dog Bite Awareness Week. Of course, you'll be aware when you get bit. But this is something that has become a very, very big problem in the United States, all over. But there will be updates for this week, and please check out the EP Facebook for updates. Also, a personal note, if you bear with me for one moment. It's just that I'm very proud to be living in Elmwood Park and the position I'm in. I consider myself very lucky. But on May 6th, my family suffered a loss of a grandmother and a mother, Helen Pettigano, or Nana, as we affectionately called her. She loved to go to ball games in towns and events in town, and all the kids called her Nana. It was just a wonderful time for her, especially when the kids were a little older. My mom lived in EP for 60 years, the place my family calls home. And if she only knew the outpouring of love and respect our family has received only confirms why I call EP my home. So I want to thank everyone for their condolences, especially the staff and administrators who took the time on Mother's Day to pay respects. And the police chief, who along with several officers guided our procession and made me and my family very proud to live in Elmwood Park. Again, thank you, friends and family.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor.
Just a quick comment on the dog ordinance. We do have a dog ordinance. If you're walking a dog, you must have some type of a plastic bag or something of that nature, visible. So if you're walking, you can put it in your pocket, have it hanging out so the police can see it, and they won't stop you. But if you don't have that, they will stop you. And if you don't have it on you, if it's not visible, they can summons you. So please pay attention to what Mr. Pettigano has indicated. It's getting bad again. It's warm out and people are out walking their dogs. Thank you. Mr. Coletti?
I'll be checking in with our school district. Their next board meeting is on Tuesday, the 21st of May at 8 p.m., God willing. And regarding JIF, our Joint Insurance Fund, I was at a meeting yesterday afternoon, and they had announced that their surplus for this period is $5 million. And that's telling us that their ship is being managed very well. Let's stay the course, guys. Regarding our fire department, once again, I'm happy to announce no major fires to report. Our chief will be discussing with the council security cameras for the firehouses in the wake of the recent theft of equipment that, as you know, the culprit was apprehended and all equipment returned, but we still think these cameras are going to aid going forward. They will be hosting a Memorial Day fireman service. It will be held at the Fireman's Monument Park on Molnar Drive, starting time 9 o'clock a.m. May 27th, and all you town residents are invited. Mayor?
Thank you. Mr. Boncino?
Yes, Mayor, thank you. The New Jersey SEM had a second auction for the fixed price electric. As recall, I had mentioned that they failed to receive a bid on the first auction at or below their strike price. They failed to get a successful bid on the second auction with rising gas prices and such. So that allowed New Jersey SEM to enter into direct negotiations with various suppliers. And for the PSE&G accounts, they contracted with CNE at 9 cents a kilowatt hour for a 24-month average. That's a little better than 10% below the fixed price rate from the PSE&G supplier. So that's a pretty good bid. Elmwood Park Ambulance will have the car show on June 2nd, 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. The Kmart parking lot. The rain date is a week later, June 9th. That's a Sunday. And then finally, you may have seen this week's community news, an article on the potential library expansion and a recent meeting between members of the library board and the council. I'd like to thank Ms. Millsop for her excellent summary of the meeting. I'd like to take this opportunity to add some perspective that may have not come across in the article. I'm going to preface everything that I say with that first, I'm 100% in favor of capital improvements for the library. It's evident when you visit the facility that many areas are outdated, have not limited to its infrastructure and some of the technology that's within the library presently. It's incumbent upon us as leaders of this community to ensure that any capital project there which will be funded by taxpayer dollars, meets the needs of our community not only today, but for years to come, and is completed in the most cost-effective manner possible. You may recall in 2011, I was critical of the library board's hastily prepared capital plan. I cited many shortfalls in the plan and concluded that the work that they were required to do by their own plan would only cost a fraction of what they asserted. Over the last year and a half, we've been told the library board has been developing their plan. Last week, the plan was presented to us. What concerns me about what was presented was that the plans were only loosely based on requirements. And in fact, there was little objective evidence that was presented that specifically addressed items such as use, how to accommodate and conduct business in the library, technology, what technological innovations will be incorporated to reduce staff workload and enhance the user experience, infrastructure, what improvements to inventory, and what by mean inventory, I mean books, periodicals, media, and systems such as their HVAC and lighting will be implemented to affect and promote efficiency. And finally, regulatory requirements, meeting building code and ADA code. So all of those, use, technology, infrastructure, and regulatory requirements need to be addressed in any plan that's implemented on Lee Street. A second concern that I had was that many constraints were presented, such as square footage, staffing, structural integrity, that in my mind were merely roadblocks to forward and out-of-the-box thinking. Allowing these artificial requirements to creep into our planning will only serve to prevent us from reaching an optimal solution. Essentially, what was presented was a plan to spend $600,000 on an addition. Unfortunately, the library board was not prepared to discuss the benefits of such a plan, present the trades that they made to date, and the level of detail that one would expect for a project of that magnitude. In future meetings, I would expect that level of detail to be discussed with this governing body. At the end of the day, it's incumbent on this governing body and future ones to take a leadership role on this project, to thoroughly vet the various options so as to ensure this project is conceived and executed in a cost-effective manner and meets the needs of all of our residents for years to come. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Conboy.
Thanks, Mayor. I just would like to, I have a number of comments here I'd like to make, but I would just like to, I read the article myself as well today before heading out to work, and I just want to clarify just a couple of things that were in there that I was involved in commenting on. I know it's tough when you, I worked in publishing, so when you turn in a 20-page story, it gets whittled down to something small and condensed, but just a few things that I noticed in the comments I made, I just want to clarify. One topic that was discussed was federal aid monies that they're getting, that the library gets. Currently now it's down from $12,000 down to $8,000, and the consensus of the council and as with the library board members was that it's probably going to dwindle down to zero. It's just a matter of time. It just keeps getting cut, and to keep getting those monies, I only made the comment that we're chasing after monies that are dwindling down that will probably evaporate very quickly. We shouldn't chase those monies and make decisions on that when the monies are coming down to the bare minimum. It's no different than when the Justice Department comes out with, hey, hire 3 more cops and we'll pay for it, but only for a year. Then once you have it, how do you pay for it? Now, not that that's the same with the library. I'm just saying that if those monies are dissipating, which everyone seemed to agree those monies are and will be, because they have been going down, the only way different funding is going to change is if we change things among the municipality. And I don't think some of those things were going to happen anytime soon. But so I just wanted to clarify, if we can always get money, let's get money, but we're going to spend X to chase X, then that better equal more than what we're spending and what we're chasing. But I'm all, as we all are here, we all want to see our library flourish and do well. I think some of the good things you might have read in that article, their circulations are up, their numbers, when other municipalities are reporting that their numbers are down. So our library is doing something right there with their circulation. So, and the other issue I just wanted to comment on is throughout the meeting it was discussed on how it could be revamped to accommodate. I believe our president of the library said we're currently able to handle anyone who comes through the door in whichever physical capacity that they're in, unless I misunderstood her, but I believe she said that. So I am all for it. She mentioned how you could change the shelves and do this and do that, and we could still be ADA compliant. So I'm all for those changes to be made there. So I just wanted to clear that up. And also the last thing on that, within the article, it was stated how we've spent a total of like $900,000 in recreation upgrades. Whether that number is accurate or not, I will say I know every year we've done things to get monies, but I think it just should be noted those monies are open space monies. So when they take money from the trust, and both organizations have different ways of their funding, we take half out from the trust to go get every dollar. I believe the mayor can help me with this one. At the end of the day, we're just trying to go back to get that half penny of every other penny that the county takes for open space money. And I think we've always advocated regarding the open space, we should just leave it here and stop sending it to the county. But anyway, I just want to clarify that's how that funding comes about. Summer camp, folks, get out there and register. Summer camp's flying. It's going great. All the organizations are working together to make sure it's a great summer. So I'm very proud to report that with the Board of Ed and Recreation, everybody is doing a really wonderful job to make a wonderful summer camp happen. Today was in the mid-80s. Hopefully the warmer weather's coming around. Stick around. Get out there and buy your spray round tickets. Also, with all of our coming home seniors in their last year of college, a lot of local colleges had graduations. I want to welcome them all coming home back to Elmwood Park, and I hope that the job market is kind to all of you. And just want to give a shout out tonight. Justin Lewinsky joined the fire department not too long ago. We had Tyler, both kids, Lou and I, maybe you all know them too. They were all little kids at one time in St. Leo's, and now they're on the fire department. So thanks, Justin, for joining, and be careful out there. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Mr. Catamagna?
A lot of those kids, mostly my students who joined the fire department, and I had to always encourage them to join them. Anyhow, 43 years ago, my wife got married.
A child bride.
43th anniversary. See, I am so dedicated. I'm here tonight celebrating my wife's and I anniversary. Isn't that great? Anyhow, we had Chinese food, just in case. Normally I eat Italian food, but tonight I sacrifice it for my wife.
You're kidding.
It's going to be tough. Anyhow, the homeowner association, they will have a bus ride to Mount Airy Casino on May 31st. And I guess the cost is $25. They get voucher, cash voucher, $25. Plus they get $10 food. It pays to go. You don't have to do anything else. You eat for free and it doesn't cost you anything. The departure will be from the recreation center at 10 a.m. Return at 7:30. And I have a phone number here if you want to call, 201-966-7694. I will be Linda Colombini. Thank you. I don't ask the mayor. You guys say everything else. I save my throat. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Giblin, no report? I'd just like to reemphasize that we did get a grant from the state for $584,000. It's a streetscape grant, and it'll go from Pine Street past the church and then up Market Street. As far as this $584,000 will bring us, and that came with the approval from Senator Nellie Poe and the two Assembly people, Wimberly and Sumter. And this is the biggest grant we've ever gotten, and we'll certainly make use of it. We also were told that we're getting a $28,000 Clean Communities grant, which will help us clean up the town a little bit, get bags and whatever we need to help clean intersections and so forth. Tonight I'm pleased to hear that Mr. Conboy and Boncino are in favor of the library construction. I hate to see roadblocks put in there. The library board hasn't hired an architect yet. They're still looking at it. It's their money. They saved it for 20, 30, 40 years as far as I've been here, and they're going to spend it wisely. I'm very much in favor of doing this. It's going to be for a children's section, and the kids can be away from the front of the building where they are now. They'll be put in the back. They're not going to spend money foolishly, and I hope there aren't any roadblocks put in front of this because it's their project. And I sincerely fear that Mrs. Jamie Silverman will do a good job along with everybody else on the board. So I hope we work with them. They can do it without even coming back to the council. They can handle that project by themselves. They come back and they'll talk to the council and let them know how we're doing. But I hope we would put in as much emphasis on some other projects that we have that they want to put in for the library. The addition will be about $600,000. That's for the little bump out, as they're calling it, for the children. We spend that kind of money for road programs. This is not something that is frivolous. It's important for the kids. We have some problems with the Board of Education. We want to bring up our grades. We want to bring up our standards. And the library is the best thing. Keep in mind, please, that the library is not for children alone. It's for adults, senior citizens. It runs the whole length. So let's look at it, and any other monies that are spent will be to enhance the library, improve things that are there, and correct some deficiencies that were there. So I just want you to know that it's not tax dollars. The money was there. They saved it. I wish some other departments would save as much as they're saving. So I just want to clarify that, and I hope this entire council is on board with not criticizing the library to an nth degree. I also would, and I put this in your basket, I'd like to appoint Joseph Abramo to the planning board. You have his resume. I put that in the package too. Joe, would you please stand up? He's in the audience. Joe is...
Second August, right?
Thank you, Joe. I know everybody knows his father, Luigi. And I hate to say that, Joe. You're a great guy by yourself. But everybody knows your dad, the soccer coach at the high school, and what he's done for soccer in this town.
Good teacher.
Joe has been to our planning board meetings, and he's been to zoning board meetings, and he's doing it on his own. So I asked him if he wanted to be on the board. He said yes, and I'm putting it on. Thank you, Joe. I appreciate that very much. May I have a motion to adjourn, please?
Mayor, we need to go into executive session.
Oh, we got to go executive.
Whereas the Open Public Meetings Law, PL 1975, Chapter 231, permits the exclusion of the public from a meeting in certain circumstances, and whereas this public body is of the opinion that such circumstances presently exist, and whereas the governing body wishes to discuss personnel within all departments relative to overtime and compensatory time, minutes will be kept, and once the matter involving the confidentiality of the above no longer requires that confidentiality, then the minutes can be made public. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the public be excluded from this meeting.
Motion, please.
So moved.
Mr. Pettigano, Mr. Castiglia, all in favor, opposed? So ordered. And a motion to adjourn? Same two. All in favor, opposed, so ordered. Okay.